Welcome to our first weekly recap. This is Fast Business Trader, and what we're about to do is go ahead and pull the trades from this week in record order here, and we're going to pull those from what was the date we're looking, the time frame from this. There was no trading day on the 6th, so it's the 7th to the 10th. So we're gonna pull here. So we're gonna select the 10th all the way down. Jeez, that's a lot of trade on the 10th, I'll tell you that. Yeah, okay, we have the 7th up here. All right, and here, and we're going to copy. We're going to take those over to TraderView and import trades from Weibo, and we're just going to paste everything here. All right, and upload. This is going to take a minute to do. All right, let's hit refresh. Okay, 503 trade executions were imported. Just so y'all know, I have the free version, so I don't have unlimited everything. So there's gonna be some things that's working and some things that doesn't work. So we'll go ahead and get started on this. So we're going to choose the date from the 7th to the 10th, and we're going to filter that. All right, so we have, okay. Okay, that's a lot of trades. All right, so we're going to our dashboard.
Okay, so we're going to trade views, and we'll start from the 7th, and let's click details, and this kind of explain what went on in that trade. This was a $73.45 profit, and we're going to see what we did and how we could have done better and how we need to do better next time. So this is a 1 minute chart, 5 minute chart, 30 minutes, and daily chart. So we got in at 94.62 short, and we sold half at 26, and then we sold 25 at 94, and then we sold 10 at 93. And you might think, okay, why the heck did you get out of there so early? Well, I'm gonna show you here. We have, let's make this large, 1 minute chart. Let's go to 5 minutes. So 5 minute chart here, we sold. I had to take all that risk before coming down here, but my risk level was right up here at 95.50. So I gave it a $1 risk, and my last share was taken out at 92.69. So literally a $2 gain trade. But my thing is, the stock was dying of volume, but there's a chance it could have just spiked. I mean, it spiked twice and it got rejected. That's the only reason why when it came down here and gave me that tail, I took profit. Okay, so it came down here, I took profit after the two long tails, let it push back, sank again, pushed back, and it held, so I took profit here, and then it sunk again, and I took profit. So I could tell here there was a lot of algo moving the stock up and down because they thinking I'm buying here. So the fact that they think I'm buying and they sunk the trade, and here again, same thing. It's like every time I buy, it sunk. But I was buying to cover, but in their system, they can't really see that. So, and it seemed, it just keeps moving across, and then I just took the final piece out all the way over here at 2 p.m. The next trade that I took, so for this one, I would say that was a good, great entry, and great risk management. However, you need to monitor the trade better and get the most out of the trade. Okay, so we're going to save this here, and this is complete for me. So we'll go back to trades, and here we have our notes. Snap, I took a loss in Snap. I remember the Snap trade. I got in 100 shares at 76.45, and it immediately shot up. And when it did, I got out of there for a $10 loss. So this is what happened on this one. What did I buy in? Here's the sell, and it immediately went against me, so I sold right away. See this right here, and that's the thing. You have to manage your risk of wins and losses, because here this trade complete would have wiped me out. You know, it went from 76.45. Well, I bought in at 45, and it flew all the way to 76.80. I mean, I get that you're probably thinking, okay, then why don't you just wait and you could have got out and made a profit? What, at 35? You want me to take a risk of $1 to make what, $10? That's just, you gotta manage your risk on this one. And it's not like the stock was on the upward bullish movement for the day. So that was a quick trade that I took up here for this downward movement here. So obviously it switched. That's the 5 minutes. It gave me a rising star and it went right back up. Of course it died down, but that's a risk. That's literally on the bottom of the move to the top. So no, I'm not gonna take that risk. So that was a $10 loss, September 7th, around 3 o'clock. So I would say good risk management on that. Need to look at higher time frames for patterns and stop getting in patterns way. Go with the flow. Alright, so I believe that was the only 2 trade I took on the 7th, and then on the 8th I took Baba here for a $61 win, and it was I shorted at 171.90, and I bought half at 50, and I bought a quarter at 25, and I held the rest and just distributed 19, 94, 71, 63, and 70. So when we come down in the charts, Babas is on trending down pre-market, and the previous day it gapped down, and I missed this move here, and I caught it down here, and my risk was at 172, and after it hit, it didn't break, it got rejected on top of this candle here that I got in, that's where my risk level was, and it came straight down. So for me, secure profit. I'm trying to build my account, so I started securing profits all the way down here. And I know what you're thinking. I could have held it and it could have gone lower, but remember, I have a day job. That's one. And two, I'm gonna secure profit. I mean, whether it's as little as you may think it seems, that's for me. I'd rather that than risking it coming right back up, shooting right back up. Because as soon as it hit 168, as you can see here, it shot right back up, and now Baba's trading higher. So great profit, secure. Need to start practicing adding to trades soon. I definitely need to work on adding to my wins. Okay, we're gonna skip a few here. Ford. I do not want to trade Ford without news. It's crazy and stupid. Ford is definitely 600 shares volume, so let's do this one. So I bought in here at 167.48. Well, I shorted for a $45 gain. That's on September 9th, so that's Thursday. And I bought in for a loss here I sold it 167.48, bought in at 65 for what, $17 loss here, and then I reshorted it again at 168.05 and bought half at 167.62, and then bought half of that remaining shares at 74, and 12 167.97, and then 13 the rest at 168.59, and then I reshorted again at 168.17, bought a quarter 167.75, bought another quarter 167.70, 10, and 35 and 5. So I was fighting this stock. I don't know why. It's just that I know it was going to, I keep thinking it's going to sink. Look at that. that both like in that rejection. When you get a rejection like this, it's usually gonna come straight back down, and it did, but it was buyers kept coming in down here. So I sold here on this rejection here on that bar for a 3 bar play because of that. The second bar did not even come halfway, so I try to be ahead of the game, and that's why you gotta wait for your patterns to be formed. Because if you're trying to beat this game, you're not gonna win. You gotta play what it's giving you. So I went in and shorted here. That's the one that's at 167.48, and it just spiked up, and I gave it to that level. Once it break it, I know it's gonna reverse, and I couldn't get in. I just couldn't get in to get out. I couldn't buy. The ass kept flying every time I got to it. It just keep going. So I bought in for a loss here. Then I re-shorted it again here, and it happened so fast that you can't even see it in that trade. So I left some here, bought back down here. So all of this, that risk, that was with 50 shares. So I could afford that loss, and bought some here, bought some there, bought some here. And when it started reversing again, I gave it, not to break this. And once I bought, it sunk and it went higher. So I shorted it again with this risk here. If it broke this level, 168.80, I would get out. And it got right to it and didn't break it. So it starts sinking like a rock. And it makes me, I think it was supposed to sink here. And when I sold here, the algo spiked it up. And then just look at that Death Star. When that Death Star happened, I was like, okay, it's coming back to my way now. So it did this with the reversal pattern here. It reversed, pulled back, and then just flush. And I bought in at the lowest as it can get. I watched it for a little bit to see, how low it can get. Came down here, thought it was going to go lower, but buyers started coming in at 67, and they bought it all. So I bought in. I bought the rest of the remaining shares here just to get out of the trade. It was about time for me to get to work. So bye-byes. Keep playing around, just jumping jacks everywhere. So for this one, I don't think I did not trade this market well, for the simple fact that I was not being patient enough on waiting for the patterns to form. Patience. Okay, but $45 win. I'm okay with that for now. I just didn't like the way I traded it, but I'm okay with it. All right. Netflix 99 for $7. What did I do in that trade? Let me see. Oh, I remember this stupid trade. I bought. Oh man, I should have held it. Nope, because the second I said that, that's when something happens. Because this here is a Death Star, but it's a rising star. Maybe it was green. I don't know. Maybe it was a doji. Anyways, so that's the day I was almost red because I was trading. What was I trading? On the 9th, I was trading. Was it the day I was trading Baba? Yeah, I was trading a firm actually, and yeah, because Babas came later to make my profits. But I was trading a firm, and I made about $60 in the firm, and then I had about 13 shares left to finish my the trade. I was at work, not on my computer, and I bought in because I shorted. So I bought 13 shares, and I turned around and left my computer. And I didn't leave the computer, but I left, the trading platform, Weibo. And when I look back, I'm about to close everything out. I look back, I'm like, why do I have 2 positions open? I have Netflix long that's going red, and I have a firm short that's going red. I'm like, what's going on? I closed this, and I look back, and I'm like, oh my god, I bought Netflix. And here's Netflix just sinking the second I bought it by accident. So bought it at 603.42, and it just sunk. Good thing it was only 13 shares because that's a drop. So it went negative $7, ate some of my profits. I'm just gonna say here, pay attention. Oh, good job getting out on accidental trades. Yeah, like a long time. I know the old me would have trying to keep it, trying to hold it, and see if I could make some money off of it. So I'm glad I got out of that as soon as I saw it. And firm also ate some of the profit that I made with it, because of what I did. See here, I sold it at $89.99, and I sold a quarter of it at 85, another quarter at 80, 10, 75, and then it went back up. And that's when that's those shares that ate no, that wasn't even it. That ate some of the profit because it came back up. Anyways, okay, here is me trying to beat the market and failed miserably. This is me on the very first bar. Well, what I was trying to do, I was trying to get in early because with Baba, if you don't get in early, then you're not gonna get in. So this is me after a gap up, after the red bar, and this bar here was all green, and I was trying to get in before the break of the red bar for a break of 171.06. So I was looking for a break of 175 because if it broke that, then it would have flew right. It did not. It came right back down, death cross, and had another red bar. And at that red bar, I sold for a $70 loss, and that one stung so bad. I was ready to cry. And then it came right back up. As soon as I sold, it came right back up because I would have started taking my profits here. This here, I wouldn't have let it come back my way. Once I buy in, I start taking profit going up. Anyway, so that was a $70 loss. See, after that gap up here. See, what I was following was after this gap up, trend higher. This gap up, trade high, gap down, trade lower, reverse. But after gap ups, at least trade across or trade higher. Look at that. But this time it didn't. It came right back down. So that was that. And wait for the trend to before you get in the trade because I did not wait. I tried to get in early, and I paid the cost for it. Okay. So let's get back to our trades. I'm on page 1 now. Yay. And then I took another loss on there because, why would I learn my lesson? I tried to get in again, and I sold. I went short at 170.36. Yeah. Went my way at first, and it wasn't enough profit. So this board here, shoot up. Remember, this is the third minute in the day. So it was ridiculous. The momentum was just not making a decision, and it was me trying to find the right way with the market. I would never do that again. And if I break that rule for whatever reason, I would probably pay a higher price for it. So there was a 49 minutes, $49 loss here because I went short. I reversed my position, went short, thinking it's going to fall, and it went right back up. So bought in here, and then it kept shooting up. So good thing I got out here once it broke, because once it broke this level of the previous red candle, I would go long here. So I went and trying to get out, but no bid. I wasn't picking up any ask price. It was just shooting up from there. So got out with a $49 loss. Same thing. Wait for the trend, or it will cost you dearly. Maggot. Cost you dearly, maggot. Alright, let's come back here. And let's see. Oh, 425 again on Babas. I was just having a terrible day in Babas, man. I tell you. Here we have, let's see what I did on this one. 425. Man, that was a tough one. That was a tough day Friday, man. Friday was tough. So I went long. Okay? So now that, it's going up, so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go long. So what I did, I bought in, got in profit, pulled back, I stayed in. My risk profit right now is half of that green bar. If it broke it, get out. But it broke the green bar, I get in. So that's a breakout sign. I would add more on the break of the previous green candle. Broke it, bought more, pull back here, okay? And then broke it again, broke the next candle. So that's a super breakout. I mean, right now it's about, to me, to the moon, okay? We're going to the moon with this one. So I waited for the pullback. Boom, right? Over here, this green bar, at that time it was green, I bought on top of the bar to break this bar before I start selling. When I tell you, this thing went poof, and just poof. When it broke this one, my average at this time was already at 90, I believe. It was like it brought my average up to like 170. It was like 90 something, right? So it was up here, and I'm down here. So I'm like, okay, that's a pullback. I'm gonna let it pull here, and if it breaks, I need to get the heck out of there. So this thing pulled back all the way down here, and what did I have to do? I had to leave my desk for something. Left my desk, and this thing was just cruising down. And when I came back, I saw this here. I remember seeing either this or here. I'm like, oh my God, I'm $128 down. What is going on? And at this time, my emotions are just everywhere. I'm like, I'm upset because I left my trade while I was in the trade, and then it was started going back up. So it went all the way to, oh, I think it was like 70, and I was at 90, and I'm like, I need to wait for, this is a reverse. This is coming back up now, and of course I didn't take any of my size out. I'm on like big size, 300 shares, and it just, and I died. So I went on and take my loss, walk away, because it just kept, Baba just kept bleeding all day. So technically, my very first trade was actually the right trade, when I went short in the beginning. So what I should have done was, well, you could say you should have done whatever, but when you're trading, you're in the middle. If you go back to Friday when I was doing that, I think I even missed a few screen recordings because this thing only goes to 10 minutes, and once it reaches it doesn't even tell me. So I wasn't even paying attention to it, so I missed a few, like, the intersections. Anyway, so this here, stay at your desk or get out of the trade and respect your stop loss. Alright, so I took this as here my biggest loss since for 3 weeks now. This is my third week completed. I don't want to knock on every wood in my head. I've been green for 3 weeks straight now. I'm gonna restart the video here. Okay, so now I got home, right? Now I'm trading at home, and I saw a firm, right? A firm. No, that Baba's Friday. I was already home. So now I'm in Baba. I'm done with Baba's. I'm like, Jesus, I'm like about $600 down. So I went into Baba's, made $333 back on this trade, and I was just going in and out of there, and it was just ridiculous. I was going short, I was going long, and when I saw this trade, it had massive volume. Volume was kept spiking and spiking and spiking. This stock went 30. I think the max was like $35. It gapped up and went up $35 upwards before it actually comes back down. So this is me trading in this whole way up. Every time it would break the previous highs, I would get in and then just sold into it, and I went short. Went short into the spike downs, and like this, the volume made it easy to get in and out. It was a great volume. This stock's gapped up to $90. Pull back in earnings, it gapped back up to very close to its all-time highs, which was at 145. So I made 330 on that trade. It was just going in and out, which I don't want. I didn't like doing it, but I can't say it wasn't a good job. Good volume trading. Who knows? I just might be a volume trader. Great momentum. And I would need to learn a lot more from Warrior Trading to be able to really do this more fluently. But in this trade, $2. It wasn't that, and I traded 512 shares. It wasn't that it was $2. It was just that, I'll show you what I'm talking about. I went up a few times and then I lost it again. That was part of went short, bought in. See here, it's 73, 156. Those are a lot of money, but then I lost a lot of it too. So it equals out to $2, but it wasn't. It was just a lot. As you can see here, it was a lot of ins and outs in a firm. It had great volume. If I was trading off a platform like one of those commission platform, I'd be broke into debt right now with that many 525 entries and exits. So yeah, let's look for a really good one. This one was a $57 loss trade. This one was $99 loss trade, and then I made $2 on this one, $2.40. Here's a good one, 136. So at this point here, I was at negative I think 200 from the Baba loss that I took, right? I think I was like negative 200, and I went to support.com and freaking took a crazy trade and tried to average down. So I bought two, and it was after it halted. It halted down, and then it flew up, and then it was coming down to do a double touch. And at that double touch, what I was expecting was another shoot up, and I averaged down from 2260, 2238, and 2233, and 2233 was the bottom line. So you can always expect, a little drop before the missile, the jet goes off. But this thing was flushing, and I couldn't catch a bid for nothing, and it was just crazy. So I was like, oh man, I gotta get the heck out of here. So look at that, I got out of there at the freaking absolute worst of the worst that you can get out. And I got out of there. I'm not upset that it was the absolute worst, because who knows, if I stayed in there, it could have kept going down and I would have been a much bigger loss. So I got out of there, and of course came back. At that time, once I got out of there, I wasn't even looking at it no more. I was so upset, and it was not your quality setup to trade. You took a chance on hope, and you paid the price dearly. And I did, because with me making over $1,000 in a firm, without this $374 loss here, I would have been made more than $142 in a firm on the total day. I went back green eventually, which we're gonna get there on these trades here. So I even went to ATER for a quick trade, and it wasn't moving. Apparently it had volume for the day, but it was trading in a range, and it wasn't breaking out. I took a trade on the break here to 1227. It was supposed to break that high and fly, and instead it didn't. So when it didn't, once it comes back against me, I got out of there quickly. It was just a $3 loss. It wasn't moving, so that's why it wasn't too bad. So I decided for the rest of the day I need to either grind with a firm or set a $50 loss, and if I lose $50, I will be heading out for the day, and I lose 46. And I tell you right now, this is how close I was to giving up on the day. Just take my loss, bow to the market, and say, never, I'm done with you. You're a butthole, and you took all my money. Anyways, so I bought in here at 119.31, and it just like flew. And actually, I shorted it, and it flew to 119.77, and I lost $46. And I was like, you know what? $4 more. I'm out. I'm done. I gotta learn when to quit. But then there was so much volume. I said I'm gonna take one more trade and see what the heck happens. And I went up $30. So now I had I had about $20 to play with, and I took a $32 loss. Is it crazy, right? Took a $32 loss in 12 cents. On one, I shorted. It was the remaining shares that got me from this trade here, and the remaining shares here, I had to sell them because the volumes, like this volume bar. Okay, so let me take this out. Okay, so here we are at $32, and then I came back and made $217, and this is when things started to get interesting, because I went back. Remember, I went back in a hole on SBRT 374, so I went back to negative 600 again, and lost $49 back to back. Then made 30, then lost 32, then made 217. And I was like, wait a minute, I can do this. I just need to follow the plan, wait for the setups, and this can happen. So I bought in right before it broke this little consolidation right here, because remember, I lost money here. So I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna fight this trend any longer. I'm getting back. I'm going long. Bought in, flew, and when it flew, I sold all into it. It dipped, right? As soon as it dipped, I bought more. On this here rising star, I said, okay, it's time to go. And it just flew again, sold all into it, all the way to here, because I averaged down here and made $217. And by now, I'm like only $300 down. And I went and I was like, oh my God, I need to, if a firm is going to keep up with this volume, and it just keeps coming in. And I bought in again. And here, made $69.87 on that. I went short. I was just flipping shorts and long, shorts and long, and I sold into. This is where I got after this rising star. I got all my shares out, and as it was coming back to my level that I just told you from the previous trade, I flipped short on this Death Star here on that reversal and bought all the way into it. And then up here, I even sold more and bought all the way into it, pull back, sold more, bought all the way into it, and then here flip longed again, right? So on this trade here, I'm at $69. So now I'm about I don't know, close to like $100 or $200 loss from earlier, and then on the next trade, when I went long, I went long all the way long, average more, sold into it. I bought down here, and it just sold all the way into it, pulled back, bought more, sold into it. Man, and then in this trade I was 156. So now I was like between negative 30 and positive 30. It was just going. My P&L was going for the day. It was going green, red, green, red, green, red, green, red, and right after that, I lost 50. Made 23 back. Made 10. Went 18 down. Went 22 down. And then this trade was when things got all the way interesting, because now was close to 300 positive on the day, right? $500 in this trade here. This is when I was just, oh my gosh, what is happening? It was, I bought into this, sold, bought more, sold, bought more on the way down. It was, and I was going long, short, long. Look at that. Oh my God, it was just crazy. And the volume just kept coming in. Look at the buying volume. It was just crazy. So I was just in and out of the trade, like bought more, sold into it, and I was going short on red bars. So I was in one bar, probably in and out like 2 or 3 times. But man, I do not want to be in this situation again. Cut your losses. And then I was $240 something up, right? $240 something up. After I was close to $700 down, I managed to get up to close to $200 down. Lost all the money, all the profit time. It went back to where I was down here, and then had to grind back up to make it to where I was positive 240. And like an idiot, I didn't have enough. So I went back in, sold 100 at 124, and it flew up. That's when you see when I notice when I'm like under pressure, I trade better. But then here I was positive, so much positive. I was like, I was taking higher risk. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let it. If it breaks this level here, this is when I'm gonna get out. And it just, poof, it just flew up there. And when this was happening up here, that's a break of 3 green bars, and this was fully green at the time. I wasn't gonna. And you see this? If I would have waited, it would have came my way. It would have came all the way down my way. But then again, when you're here, you sold here, and it was a red bar, and it goes here green, crosses over and ended up here, same levels as your previous levels. This is when I should have got out. And when this bar, even let's say this bar broke this level here, I should have got out. Ended up green, and then this bar here was all green at one point. First it pulled back. I'm like, okay, then this bar should be coming next, but then it went up green. Then I was like, what the heck? Then this is a breakout. This is one of those breakouts I should have went long in. And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, I'm gonna flip long so I can get in this party, and bought the shares that I had, and it went up here, came back. I'm like, oh my God, now I'm long, and that's the next trade, which is here. Now I'm long 106 shares, and it's coming back down. I'm like, yo, what is happening right now? I'm losing all my money, $240, and I actually went negative, and I was like, okay, I need to just chill out. Like, you need to end your day, buddy. Like, get this money out of the market, and doesn't matter your level. My thing is at 60 per day. That's my limit. That's my goal right now is $60 a day. And I was at 250. First I was at 700. My $20 loss per day was like maxed out to 700, and I went up 240. This is when I should have stopped trading. But this was sitting in front of me. The volume was amazing. It's a beautiful thing. But I got suckered into it, and the second I did, I lost over half of the profit that I had. So I had to. Then I ended up in the negative again. So then I had to grind back again, and made 89 and 17, and that's when I was like, you know what, I'm done. see, this year I had to sold into it and bought, sold again, bought in, and when it was coming back, instead of selling down here, I was expecting this move to happen, and I didn't. So when it came back up, I wasn't taking any more risk after that. All right, so make this 89 back and 17, 88 on the last trade, and that's bought in here, sold in, bought more, and it was coming back, so I sold it. And that's when I said, you know what, the volume started dying off down here, and I just needed to keep my profit and stay positive on the day, and you know, get the money out of the market. You hit your target too. I made $142 that day, and 142 and 42 cents. But if I would have stopped here, I would have been at 242. I think it was around there. So I lost 89, 114, made it back 89, and then made back about $18. So yeah, so about $46 average per trade, and I made 1100 on that trade. So let's see, journal. So this week's entry for me is going to be, I need to create new notes, add notes. So this is going to be, great work throughout, what's wrong with my keyboard, throughout the week. Do not trade at work, especially volatility stocks in the morning. Do not overstay your welcome and take profit, but read patterns for most profit. Cut losses at desired stop loss and get back in if need to after confirmation. Get out of trades when it doesn't make sense anymore. Volatility trades were good, but when you went to try to take a chance, it hurt you and help. So trade smart, learn analysis of price action. What the heck? Vitality. Volatile strain. Volatile. I feel like I couldn't write volatility or volatile. Jesus. Oh crap. That's not what not overstay welcome. Doesn't analysis. There we go. All right. Let's see some reports. Let's see calendar. 2021 calendar. Why isn't it showing my trade? So, oh, okay, I know, because it has the date of filter, no date. What the heck? Okay, let's do January 1st to December 31st. Filter that. Oh, if RM is there. Okay. All right. So I started trading again here this week. These are day trade. This is when I started day trading, really day trading, and this day here was the end of my it was the end of my swing trading. So, oh no, I'm sorry. this is more, and actually this trade turned into that because it was a swing trade I've been holding since for about here, I believe. And it was when I imported into here, it was still in this, on that day it was still negative 255. Then it turned positive on the next day, and I sold it for 400 profit. So day traded, then I got all my money back, plus that profit. Then I started day trading on the 25th. I made 69, 26, 100, 27, 77, 30th, 65. So I've been hitting my marks, but September 1st it was 25. This is not correct. Something must have not imported. Yeah. Sell for profit, then hold for more. Okay. Oh, that was for buying. See, I should have sold up here. I was wondering what this note was. A sell for profit, then hold for more profit. Pigs get slaughtered, and they do. See, I bought in the very low, and instead of selling into this spike, I waited for a bigger move because it wasn't an uptrend from this down here, and it came crashing right back down to this level. Anyway, so yeah, okay. So we got almost the 10th was almost a so we got 25, 6, 138 here, 63, 72, 57. Almost missed. Well, I missed my mark here, but I was not gonna overstay my welcome. Do not trade at work. Yep. You see this? I traded this at work, and it hurt me, man. It hurt me bad. Alright, so let's see. So gross for the past 30 days. 823. That's 55. That's not accurate. We're gonna start from here, down here. No, even this was not accurate because that was from a swing trade. My day trading really starts on the 25th and go from there. So since the 23rd, that was this here. So really from the 24th, I've been on the path straight up. And of course, I've been trading low size to, to get my rhythm right, before going berserk. I'm trading a lot of volumes. On 910 was my most volume. I think I traded about 14,000. My last most one was the 12th. I'm not really counting those. Wins, percentages. So let's do per trade. For the last 30 days. Okay, let's do the details. So what I've been working on is getting this number here to get to be lower than the winning average. I don't like my winning. That's why. It's not moving up as fast. See here, that's that big loss on Baba that I took. Here. The biggest loss was that the 425 loss. My largest win was a 500. That was on the firm. Average per share, gain per share is 7. Average trade, $20. Profit factor 2.5. So this is based on my swing trades, and average hold of losing trade about 2 hours. That's based on my trades as well, my swing trades. We go to look on average volume 1700, number of losing trades 34, number of winning trades 74. So I'm at a 68% here. My goal here is to get to 70% by the end of this month. I wonder if I could do a note of, I'm gonna write that down. 70% winning trades, percentage, 70%. So I need to be really careful on my setups. 70%, and I'm gonna need this number here to stay down to 30 or lower. I wouldn't mind at all. Max consecutive wins, 16. I like that number better than max consecutive loss, 3. That's good. Right now, wins and losses. I don't have the gold. the gold memberships to get all these benefits. So I mean, I'm good with this. To be honest, I like trading. It brings a part of me out that really I don't go out and show my emotions all the time. But in here, like in this market, it makes me experience all of those emotions, and the wins, the losses, the loss and fighting back to get it, and it'll bring something out of you that you didn't know you had. So I can't say it's not. Um, it's an eye opening. This market will test you, and when it does, you got to make sure that you're either ready for it or don't take the risk if you know you're not ready for it, because if you're not ready for it and you're gonna jump in, you're gonna get hurt. And a lot of traders don't recover from these tough losses, and that's how they get out of the market, and it could be a tough. You don't wanna come in here, with a certain amount of money and then leave with less. My whole goal is, I'm not a gambler, so I'm a terrible gambler. When I go to the casino, I have a certain amount that I will be putting out to lose. If I lose it, I'm out of there, and I have a certain amount to win. Once I win it, I put it away, and just now play with the extra to win more. Then once that's gone, I'm out. It's that's how I am. So thanks guys for, if you stick through and watch all of this. I hope you learned something. See you guys Monday, and have a great weekend, and stay safe. And as always, please remember to like this video, share, and subscribe to our channel. And also remember, trading is risky. You can make a lot of money, you can lose a lot of money, and I am not a financial advisor or stock advisor or whatever advisor. I'm still learning myself. So be safe, and make sure you do your due diligence before you get into the market. And talk to you guys later. Bye bye.